Thanks for tuning in to Section 8 and rocking with Butta Baw and
O.G. Strong.
We wanted to open up the topic about what makes a person a product of the street. We wanted to hear you guys' interpretation on what y'all believe makes a person a product of the streets. Or some would term it a product of their environment. As far as my understanding, what makes a person a product of the streets is when they're exposed to certain activities at an early age. Mm-hmm. You agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely do.
And it doesn't have to be something illegal.
Not at all. Don't.
You know, a lot of us are exposed to a lot of activities that goes on in the streets, especially in Section 8 public housing developments, known to a lot of us as hoods, ghettos, and projects. You agree with that?
I agree with that.
You know, and we know some of these activities consist of the infestation of drugs, whether it be powder cocaine, crack cocaine, marijuana, heroin, Percocets, pills.
Outrageous these days.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Pills going crazy.
Guns.
Yes.
Like so a lot of us be having access to a lot of this stuff at an early age. You understand what I'm saying? Where when we're confronted with certain life struggles, right? It's almost natural that we respond out of the circumstances where we turn to these activities that we're exposed to. Right. This is how we get to being in the streets.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? A lot of us have family members, older brothers, uncles, fathers,
aunts.
Let's not listen, because you know the women be in the game too.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think that it's fair that we had this conversation.
Right.
It's because it gives relevancy to a lot of the behaviors that's taking place in today's society. Yep. You know, with all of the shooting. You understand what I'm saying? And of course, you know, things have changed from, you know, your era and my era to this era. You understand what I'm saying? What you think about that?
It changed big time in the sense of how them dealing and having to protect themselves with the weapons and being out there with these guns.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? As far as, like, for instance, today is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Tell you, like, when
you say today, you speaking of today's society,
time.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Like,
care to elaborate?
It's kind of like frightening to a lot of parents out there and a lot of children. And
absolutely.
Everyone individual out there is going through it with these shootings and can't even walk around. Like bullets coming out of nowhere, people get killed.
Right.
And it's kind of like frightening to innocent bystanders.
Absolutely.
You know, businesses.
Right.
You know, and the way these children in Philadelphia is operating and acting out of pocket.
Yeah, Philly off
like
the hook.
Going in these wild wides and tripping and doing anything, getting out of pocket. Like, it's really out of pocket these days. And it's like, you know.
Listen, not only in Philly, Chicago, and these are predominantly African American, you know, cities. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's no governance, it's no camaraderie. Even with hustling in our days, you know, we would make sure that we had a conversation about who is and who isn't off limits.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? There's certain activities couldn't take place when there were children around or women around.
Right.
You know, so this speaks to the psychological state of our children. right? About them not having no concern about the well-being of our women and children who are their sisters and their mothers, right? We could be going through it with a neighborhood, right? That is, a 5-block radius, right? That we have family members in these neighborhoods, right? And it can be somebody that you are having an issue with that's related to you. This is how nuanced these today's activities, are being conducted and out of control. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So to speak to that is designed for it to almost be like that. It's because everything has something to do with the economics, the lack of economic resources. You see what I'm saying? That drives this activity. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Is the fathers are taken out of the household. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So this leaves the mothers to fend and be the providers, to be the protectors,
the discipline, and trying to raise them at the same damn time. It's just like, man.
Yeah, so this is a difficult task. So a lot of us as children, right? When we see our mothers struggling, right? That's gonna play to the emotion. Yeah, I'm gonna go get it.
And grind. I'm think they going out there to come up, put a pack together. Oh, I'm gonna do this for my mom and help her out. And at the same time, your mom ain't looking at you to do that. You know what I mean? She's not even knowing what you into. Yeah. And you trying to get a couple of dollars to probably stay up with the next bull, whatever he's wearing, whatever he's doing. Yeah. But it's like,
yeah. So we place these responsibilities on ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? At an early age. You feel what I'm saying? So we get into the streets without having the understanding on how to conduct these street activities. We don't know how to protect ourselves. And when I say protect ourselves, I'm not talking about from a force. I'm talking about
thinking they have to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what they be thinking they have to do. Grab a gun out there to protect yourself, and they want to get killed on some shit. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, what you do have to, you have to be willing to go to certain lengths to make sure that people understand that you ain't prey. Right. But what I was speaking about is like the law, understanding how to circumvent certain things from preventing you to go to jail. Right. You see what I'm saying? A lot of us don't think about retainer fees for a lawyer. A lot of us don't think about knowing what laws protects us from our vehicles or our houses being searched. Right. So we don't investigate the rules to the game. You agree with that?
I agree with that.
We think the rules to the game is just the moral aspect. Don't sell crack where you rest at. Don't get high off your own supply, right? Yeah. Which is it's a pretty relevant philosophy when you playing in the game. But them are just moral philosophies. What about the the rules that actually govern your lives, which is the laws to the Constitution.
That's what you need to know.
Knowing your appeal rights, knowing zoning, where not to stand there and, you know, conduct your legal activity by school zone is because there's a different set of consequences when you
big time for that.
You know, when you conducting your activity in
At a school zone.
at a zone. Inside of a zone.
Yeah, that's true.
You see what I'm saying? So I think these conversations right here is definitely needed. Because this, for me, I did time. I did 12 and a half years, which is a long time. It's certain things that I didn't know that I learned while I was incarcerated.
Right.
And there's a lot of individuals that lost their freedom for a very long time and even life as a result of them not knowing.
Right.
Ignorance to the law is no excuse, but it's an excuse that man will plead when he in trouble.
Wow.
You feel me?
Wow. It's an excuse for men to plead when they in trouble.
You see what I'm saying? And this is what a lot of us
Take
do.
them deals.
Yeah.
Take them deals.
Taking deals or become time barred is because you didn't reserve your issues on record. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
By sending notice of appealability to the clerk of courts, right?
Uh-huh.
To file for your appeal.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you know, these are things that we need to know, and not to get off of the topic, to bring us back to the topic of what makes a person a product of the street. We would like to hear from y'all. We would like for y'all to tap in and let us know what you think. What
jump man, you know, like there's a lot of people product of the streets, man. Like when the wipers, jump man, get the metal.
Jumping with the metal.
Addicted to that.
Yeah,
it really is. Like, they're really addicted to that, and some people respect that. The cans, crushers, get all that. You know. Yeah, it's a lot of them out there.
Cause all the
hackers, them hack drivers.
Yeah.
You know, the Uber stepped up. Y'all still ain't out the way. Y'all still around.
They still around. Yeah. So
to the streets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything, you know.
So it's a lot of it's a various of ways to interpret what a product of the street is, or someone who's a product of their environment. And this doesn't constitute them being a bad person. It's because a lot of times
they just don't know.
They don't know, or they doing it.
They don't know.
Responding to their circumstances. Is because what if you had a mom and a dad that's on drugs,
right? Or
a mom that's on drugs and your dad is in jail,
right?
You feel what I'm saying? So out of survival, you turn to the quickest activities that will relieve you of these circumstances.
Right.
And we be having access to drugs, guns, and a block to move it on at an early age, so that would make sense.
Yep.
If I don't know how to move beyond that point, if I had nothing else as an example,
right?
And this was our only example. This will move a person to be involved in what they've been projected on. This will make them move to that activity.